as I was studying Deuteronomy 11's verses, I noticed there are some things that correlated with the 11th book, 1 Kings. Deuteronomy 11, verse 16, matches 1 Kings, which is book 11, chapter 16. And Deuteronomy 11, verse 17, matches 1 Kings, book 11, chapter 17. Verse 16 of Deuteronomy 11 says, "Take heed to yourselves that your heart be not deceived, and you turn aside and serve other gods and worship them." And 1 Kings 16, verse 31, it says, "And it came to pass as if it had been a light thing for him," meaning the Ahab, "to walk in the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, that he took to wife Jezebel the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Zidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped them." And then Deuteronomy 11, verse 17, it says, "And then the Lord's wrath be kindled against you, and he shut up the heaven that there be no rain, and that the land yield not her fruit, and lest he perish quickly from off the good land which the Lord giveth you." And right after 1 Kings 16, you see 1 Kings 17, the first verse, "And Elijah the Tishbite, who was of the inhabitants of Gilead, said unto Ahab, As the Lord God of Israel liveth, before whom I stand, there shall not be dew nor rain these years, but according to my word." And when I noticed that, I decided to look a little further than that. I found a few verses that did match the chapter. For example, Deuteronomy 11 verse 3 matches 1 Kings, which is the 11th book, chapter 3. And verse 3 says, "And his miracles and his acts which he did in the midst of Egypt unto Pharaoh the king of Egypt, and unto all his land." And 1 Kings chapter 3 verse 1, it says, "And Solomon made affinity with Pharaoh king of Egypt, and he took Pharaoh's daughter and brought her into the city of David, until he had made an end of building his own house and the house of the Lord, and the wall of Jerusalem round about." It doesn't relate to it 100%, but it does have some words in common. And then there's Deuteronomy 11 verse 8, and the 11th book, 1 Kings chapter 8. "Therefore shall ye keep all the commandments which I command you this day, that ye may be strong, and go in and possess the land whither you go to possess it." And 1 Kings chapter 8 verses 42 and 58. "For they shall hear of thy great name, and of thy strong hand, and of thy stretched out arm, when he shall come and pray toward this house, that he may incline our hearts unto him, to walk in all his ways, and to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, which he commanded our fathers." And then there's Deuteronomy 11 verse 13, with the 11th book, 1 Kings chapter 13. "And it shall come to pass, if you shall hearken diligently unto my commandments, which I command you this day, to love the Lord your God, and to serve him with all your heart and with all your soul." And then 1 Kings 13 verse 21, "And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, forasmuch as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and has not kept the commandment which the Lord thy God commanded thee. And it goes on. Uh, but actually, Deuteronomy 11, verse 13, has the word love. And usually the Hebrew word for love is ahava, which numerical sum is aleph, hey, uh, bet, hey, which is 1 plus 5 plus 2 plus 5, which is 13, and matches the verse 13. It also matches the love chapter, which is 1 Corinthians chapter 13. Even though 1 Corinthians is written in Greek, 1 Corinthians 13 is written in Greek. And as for 1 Kings 13, this was the unknown prophet which prophesied against Jeroboam, and there was another old prophet that decided to deceive. And there was another prophet, an old prophet, which decided for some reason to deceive him by saying that the Lord told me that you're allowed to come to my house and eat. And therefore the unknown prophet went in unto his house and ate. And after leaving his house, a lion met him in the way and killed him. And that was him failing God's commandment, and showed that he didn't love the Lord that much. And this is Deuteronomy 11 verses 16 and 17 compared to 1 Kings, which is the 11th book, chapter 16 and chapter 17, as I mentioned before. And that's all I've discovered in comparing